Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yatkupat Maham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarine. Hare Krishna. So yesterday we saw verse number 20, I think, that the demonic persons, they take birth among the Asuri Yonim, the demonic species, and so they don't attain me or Krishna. And we also discussed, like, that's why the devotees are very important and they go outside to give the holy name. Krishna here in the next verse gives the actually explanation, continuation to the last verse. When Krishna says that I give them birth in lower species, what exactly that meaning is, that Krishna explains here. Trividham narakasyedam Dwaram nashanam atmanaha Kama krodha tatha lobhas tasma etatrayam tyajet. Okay, so
Trividam narakshayedam dwaram nasanam atmanaha kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmad itatrayam tyajet.
Tridam narakashyedam dvaram nasanam atmanah kama krodhas tata lobhas tasmad etat trayam tyajet.
Okay, translation and purport. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to degradation of the soul. Purport. The beginning of the demonic life is described herein. One tries to satisfy his lust, and when he cannot, anger and greed arise. A sane man who does not want to glide down to the species of demonic life must try to give up these three enemies, which can kill the self to such an extent that there will be no possibility of liberation from this material entanglement. So in the last words, when Krishna said, like, I cast them into the lowest species so that they cannot attain me. So how that actually happens is given here. Yesterday we discussed, like, we have free will, and by our free will we make choices that may take us towards the spiritual or take away from the spiritual. So Krishna gives the three reasons: Kam, Krodha, and Lobh. So lust, anger, and greed. So lust, I think we discuss in this chapter that lust is the main basis of all the demonic inclinations. So lust does not only mean of the opposite sex, but lust is also for position, for power, for money, for appreciation, for having more followers, having more people who praise you. All this comes under lust. So there, where we have some desires, strong desires that should be fulfilled, or that actually identifies us. So for example, if a person who is very wealthy, that person's identification becomes that money. Or if he is a politician or some powerful position, that power of execution becomes his identity. And then that person is so attached to that position or power or money that he cannot give it up. So if he don't get, his plans are not successful, he gets angry. And if it is successful, he becomes more greedy. So the person who has a lot of money, they don't stop earning the money. They keep earning the money more and more and more. So I was reading one article that amount of money that Bill Gates has, or Elon Musk has, or Mukesh Ambani has, the amount of money, if they want to spend all of the money in this lifetime, then they have to spend certain millions of dollars every day. Then their money will exhaust. And that cannot be spent. A person cannot spend that much money in one day. Even if in 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, he cannot continuously spend so much money. So whatever amount they have, it will take their 4 or 5 generations, even if they don't work. So this much money is still there, but still they want more money, they want more power. They want, so person at his heart may be simple person, but the lust is externally bounding the soul to do more and more, and you cannot stop. And so how the person goes to the demonic species is given here. So the metaphor uses dwaram, the door. So door is generally used to, when we open the door, we enter or we go out. So here it's mentioned that if you go through this door, then it gets to your naraka, narakam, the place where the hell. So these are the doors to hell. So by Kam, Krodh and Lobh, you will do this qualities like lust itself is not bad if it is applied in service of the God. So if I want to serve God more and more, that is good. But if we apply it for ourselves, I want to enjoy more and more, that becomes wrong. So by these three gates, or by these three, we do activities which will take us to the Narak or the hellish planet. So these qualities are there, but the activities that we do because of these three things is a problem. And how actually soul, nashanam atmanha. So actually Atma is eternal, its qualities are eternal. So how the word nashanam used for Atma? Because Atma cannot be finished. We saw in second chapter, right? It cannot be finished, cannot be killed, nothing can be done. So what is the meaning? Meaning here is the real nature of Atma is spiritual, adhyatmic. But because of these three qualities, we do activities which take us away from the spiritual progress, or take us away from the interest in the spiritual matters. And that's why Krishna said, what Krishna is saying, etat trayam tyajet, please give this up. Tyajet means throw away or just renounce. So he's saying that renounce these three qualities that will lead you to the lowest species. So we have choice. And we also saw in the 14th chapter, the modes are very strong and they drive us crazy. And then we do the activities that we are not supposed to do. One time, second time, third time, 10 times, 100 times, repeated, we do the same activities that we are not supposed to do. But Krishna says, yes, it's not easy to conquer the mind. Arjuna asked this question, how I can conquer the senses and mind? It's very fluctuating. Krishna says, yes, it's very difficult. It's difficult then to control the wind, but this can be done by practice, abhyasa, and renunciation, tyaga. So Krishna is not actually, Krishna is not a person like he gives only the directions. Do like this, do like that. He also understands our difficulty. In Bhagavad Gita, if we see, he understands how difficult it is for this person, anyone to give this up. But he has told that keep practicing, keep practicing. Someday you will be able to do that. He said lust can be given up. It is the most dreadful enemy of the living being. But by practice, you can give it up. By practice, you can take the mind in control. So the main thing is Krishna anticipates that this will be a problem for any living entity, and he also gives benefit of doubt that okay, in 9.30 he says even if you temporarily fall down, but if your determination is there, So we may commit wrong activities, but still we are determined to achieve the perfection. That is what Krishna is looking at. But that does not mean that we keep falling, right? Because that creates a habit. And I myself also know that it's very difficult to break your habits, that they become part of your life daily. And to cross them or to break them is very difficult. So catching a habit is not so difficult. You can easily make something your habit without knowing it because of the interest. But when we want to stop it, it's very difficult to give it up. Or maybe you will give it up for some time, but again you are caught up in the same trap. So it is not a thing of one time or two time or 10 times controlling. It's continuous process. Why we have to do it? Because this Kam, Krodha and Lobh, they take us away from Krishna. So Lobh, greed for anything is not good. Uh, So even if Jnana, right? Even if Gyan, if we, some people are too much attached to intelligence, and they are very Gyan, they just want to acquire knowledge, 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 knowledge. But more important, of course, knowledge is important. But what is more important is to apply that knowledge in your life. If you apply that knowledge in your life, then it is useful. But if you just keep studying, then you may become intelligent, but then how you will demonstrate it? The knowledge has to be demonstrated. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, you understand Bhagavad Gita, then you have to show by your behavior, how you behave, how you talk, how you walk, how you control your senses, everything comes in that. So knowledge is to be applied. So Krishna is saying that these three are very um, inbuilt in all the living beings, uh, and they are the thing that make us do wrong things, which take us to hellish planets. So Arjuna, please give them up. Tasmat tetat trayam tyaje. Please give these three up. And it's not going to Arjuna, it's for all of us, that we have to keep practicing and try to give up this. First thing is to start in this, understand what are our weak points. What are our things that we are lusty of, what are our desires, and then acknowledge them, that okay, yes, this is my problem, this is a problem that I want to overcome. We try by ourselves by practicing, and also we request Krishna to help us to overcome this, because super soul is with us in the hellish planet also. Super soul is not going to leave us. He is always with the living being, even if in Swarga or Narka. So that's how Krishna is always supporting living being. Even if he goes to hell, Krishna goes with that Paramatma as Paramatma. So once we understand our faults, then at least we make a commitment that okay, I want to overcome these anarthas, my weak points. Okay, and there your journey starts. It may take a time to completely give it up, but at least you start. So this may happen in this lifetime or may happen in next lifetime. We don't know. Because if we are lusty for something, that's going to be us with us for this and next life also. But by Krishna's mercy, at certain point, suddenly we will be able to control it. But we have to be determined. So I think next 2-3 verses, Krishna concludes how the demonic and divine qualities are differentiated. And we can see that demonic qualities are explained in much more detail. What is the behavior, how is the thought process, what are the actions, what are the implications, everything is very detailedly given. And Krishna told Arjuna that you don't worry because you have divine qualities. But I want to explain about demonic qualities, because Arjuna is on the war and there is an enemy in front of him, and Krishna is telling Arjuna that you don't take emotional decisions, but think from Shastra also. what are the demonic qualities and how are the people they behave. So that is also one of the purpose Krishna is explaining. So we'll see in next verses how Krishna gives the choice, how to make choice, or what's the advantage of making choice in divine and demonic quality. So we'll see that tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining on Saturday also. We are almost completing 16th chapter. 2 more chapters remain. So let's continue. Any comments? Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining and take care.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.